Hello everybody, Jardis here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you an alternate route to get to the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle here in Mount Maelstrom. Now for you who do not know, the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle is actually in this area in the Dire Dries Steppes. At least I think that's how that's pronounced. I'm not 100% certain, so I do apologize if that sounded weird. Normally, in order to get into the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle, what you would have to do is you would have to go around the map to find one of 4 monsters that spawn throughout the map, known as keepers. Now, they do have a set location where they spawn, but as far as what time they spawn, I'm not 100% certain, so you tend to need to keep an eye out. For example, the Keeper of Earth would actually spawn right in this little alcove here near the Criterion Waypoint. The Keeper of Water would actually spawn out by this lake next to the Moss Tide Waft point of interest. The Keeper of Light would actually spawn in this little area south of the Ashen Waypoint down here. And the Keeper of the Wind would actually spawn in this little patch of greenery right here, just southeast of the Irwin Isle Waypoint. As you can tell by my path, I actually went by there just to see if it had spawned, but it had not. So, instead of having to wait for the Keepers, I'm going to go show you an alternate route to get to the Hidden Garden. Now, in order to do this trick, you are going to need gliding and a sky scale. Though I do suppose you could use a Springer and a Griffin, but it's just easier to use a sky scale. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come to the Criterion Waypoint, which is where I'm at right now, get on your sky scale, and head in this direction. What we're going to want to do is we're going to go into this little cave over here that has some scrit in it. And there's an area in this cave that you can go up and you can actually break the map, as they call it. You're going to want to go through this little opening here. And you want to head up until you hit the top of this ridge in this area. So you're going to go ahead and head on up. Okay.
Undead! Undead coming! Stand ground! Stand ground!
Now you're going to want to get to the top of this ridge. And you're going to want to follow it to this plateau. Now when we get to this plateau, we're going to want to go to the very edge of the map, which is up in this area. So we're going to bypass all these ruins. We're going to get past this tree and up this little cliff. And we're going to stop up here on this little rock here. Now, believe it or not, once we get up to here, we can actually choose to go to the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle by following this line here and then bypassing everything and then coming down through this here. Or, believe it or not, we can also use this route to get to the cubular jumping puzzle, which is actually in this corner, by taking the opposite route. The problem is that once you've chosen which way to go, you're pretty much committed in that direction. So from here, we are going to go in this direction. So we're going to want to get on top of this rock here, and then we're going to want to follow this little bit of a ridge line that you see down here. But we are going to want to keep some height up because there are also more invisible walls that will impede our progress. So just keeping high in the sky to bypass them is just the easiest way to do this. Hence, which is why I suggested the sky scale. Though, again, like I said, if you have enough height, you could probably do it with the Griffin. We're going to want to get to this ridge here, and on top of that peak, now, for those of you who do not know, the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle actually has multiple achievements and things tied to it. So, if you don't want to wait for the Keepers and have to the arduous task of killing them to activate a portal in order to get to the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle, this would just be an alternate route. It's maybe not be the easiest, and it may be more time consuming, but it's just a different way of going in case you don't want to wait. But, yeah, as I was saying, there are several achievements and tasks to be done in the Hidden Garden. I can't list them all off right away because I just don't remember most of them. So, for those of you who do not know, the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle is kind of unique because in order to open the chest, in order to get credit for doing the jumping puzzle, what you have to do is you have to collect one of each of the 4 essences that are scattered throughout that particular jumping puzzle. One of light, one of air, one of earth, and one of water, and they are within the jumping puzzle, so you don't have to worry about that. So anyway, once you get to that ridge up there, all you want to do is head on down, and as you can see, that's the very top of the jumping puzzle right there, right next to the cluster of light, which, by the way, is perhaps the hardest to achieve. So we're just going to drop down and glide, and bada bing, bada boom, we're at the cluster of light. Now what we are going to want to do is we're going to want to break off this piece and take its essence. And from here, what we're going to want to do is if we go into this direction, you'll see a bunch of waterfalls. That's where the cluster of water is. And the cluster of air is actually over in that area. And the cluster of earth is actually in a cave directly beneath us. So what we're going to want to do is we'll go this way. We'll hit the air first. And once you get far enough away, you can mount back up if you have the ability to do so while in mid-glide. Grab the cluster. Mount back up. Now, if you actually got into the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle the normal way, there is the mundane ways of getting to each of these clusters by going through caves and doing some extra jumping puzzles. But sometimes, for those of us who lack coordination, and I can name a few, that's kind of difficult, so this would just be an easier way of doing things. Then we go down in here, and we get a cluster of earth. Oh, and as a side reference, again, for those of you who do not know, these mysterious portals here would actually teleport you from the Hidden Garden, and most likely will drop you in a random location here in the main map, in case you want to leave. Or you could just waypoint out. Either works. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here, so I can get some height. And once you have all 4 pieces of the cluster, you can come over to this Sylvarian chest and open it. And that's how you do the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle. Again, that's just the jumping puzzle itself, but there, again, are more things you can do in here, like the Hidden Garden, which is down there, which I'm not 100% certain what it's about, but I'll probably cover that in another video. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Feel free to share this information with anybody else who'd like to know the alternate way of getting into this jumping puzzle. And I will see you again in the next video. Until then, happy gaming!